What's up, guys? It's your favorite Kiwi coach, and give me 6 months of your time. I'll give you the best golf swing of your life. So welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to Kiwi Golf Japan, we do a bunch of videos where we analyze PGA Tour professional golf swings. We analyze our client before and after videos. We do reaction videos like this where we react to a golf instructor like gg Swing Tips. And pretty much if you want to know about the golf swing, if you want to know about golf instruction, this is the perfect channel for you. And let's go ahead and jump into the video. In this particular video, we're going to be reacting to a gg Swing Tips video where he's instructing one of his college students who's going to be going to USC, and he's teaching him about the lower body movement. So if you want to learn how to use the lower body, how to rotate effectively, how to push off the ground effectively, this is the perfect video for you. And now let's go jump in and react. But before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, and that is Kiwi Golf Japan. If you didn't know, YouTube does not pay the bills. And if you want to support this YouTube channel and allow us to continue to make videos for you guys, after the video is over, check out the link down below. That'll be to Kiwi Golf Japan. Definitely give it a check, and let's go ahead and jump in.
Okay, we're here with Owen Calvin Smith. He just got an offer to go to USC. He's took it. He's playing for USC now. In where? In next year?
Next year, yeah.
Congratulations. So he's going to tell me what's going on with this game, and we're going to see if we can help out a little bit. What's going on?
All right, before we get too far into the video, first off, I want to apologize. The whole video appears that the camera is kind of blurred, and then also the audio is quite low. Luckily for you guys, though, we have subtitles for you, so it shouldn't be too difficult to follow along. This player right here actually just got accepted into USC, which is a great golf program in the United States of America. So congratulations to him. Everyone give him a clap. You know, that's pretty good stuff right there. Let's go listen to kind of the issues he's having currently.
Yeah, so overall I've been playing pretty well, but I'd say my long irons I'm struggling coming into greens on par 5s and long par 4s.
Okay.
And just kind of...
What's going on? Is it contact or is it direction?
I would say contact and then miss low left.
All right, so the main issue that they're struggling with currently right now is going to be his long irons. It appears that contact might be a little bit off. We don't really know if he's kind of hitting a little behind the ball or he's just maybe hitting a little thin. Definitely it says that he has a little bit of a left miss. So what they're about to go do then is go get his golf swing on camera, start to look at the down the line camera angle, and start to figure out what's going on with his golf swing. So let's go ahead and skip to that part and then get going.
Good. All right, so straight over the target again. So you can see that he flushed both those at 0 and probably 0 again, +1. So that ball's moving 1 degree more right. So it's probably gonna end up a hair right. 200, and that's what, let me see.
All right, they're talking about his TrackMan numbers right there. The shot that he hit before this, he basically had a 0-0, which means a 0 club path, 0 face angle. The ball went dead straight. That one, I'm assuming his club path was probably also close to 0. It seems like his face angle is maybe +1, which means if he's hitting the golf ball 200 yards with a 6-iron, maybe the golf ball's going like 5 yards offline, 10 yards offline, you know, depending on the wind. So from here, then, they're going to get into his golf swing and start to analyze it.
So that's a big 6-iron, okay? So he's smashing it, which we want. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at his mechanics right now. So first thing we're going to look at here is balls of the feet, kneecaps, armpits. So your armpits are a little bit too far where? Over, which means it's going to be very hard to stay within these parameters.
All right, this is a big part of George's kind of theory when it comes to the setup. He likes to see the pressure points, is what he calls them, or basically the balls of the feet, the kneecaps, and then the armpits to be all in a line, which means if you draw a line straight from the balls of the feet straight up, the kneecaps should be on that line. The armpits should also be on that line. This particular player, the armpits are a little bit in front of this line, which then could mean that he has maybe a little bit too much pressure out towards the toes. Now, back when this video first came out, this might have been a little controversial because a lot of instructors taught a pretty different setup than that. Nowadays, I think it's become pretty standard. You know, I don't think George was maybe the first one to talk about this, but definitely one of the most popular instructors to talk about it. But nowadays, this is definitely more of a standardized setup. Also, one other thing too, he likes the pelvis to be a little bit more on the leveler side, or if anything, in posterior pelvic tilt, which means that the front part of the pelvis is slightly higher than the back side of the pelvis. Now, this is not necessarily something I agree with, and I think he's also kind of, you know, changed tunes about this a little bit, kind of changed his theory slightly in the more recent days, but that's kind of the basics back then of what he was teaching with the setup.
It's going to be very hard to stay within these parameters for anyone. Okay, and if you do, you won't be able to rotate. So let's see if you stay within those parameters. And if you do stay with them, which I'm not, I'm guessing you're going to suck your butt in. So I have no problem. A lot of people would have problems with this going inside. I don't. Why?
Because it puts me in a good position at the time.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But if you're hitting wedges and stuff, I have a problem with it. But that
So when he's talking about going inside, let me explain what that means. He's talking about the club head and the hands were a little bit below this line right here, which just means that the hand path and the club head is a little bit underneath the plane at this particular point in the golf swing. However, after position 2, if you watched, you would have seen that the club shaft actually still gets a little bit more on the vertical side, and he's going to be in an okay spot as he starts to approach the top of the swing when it comes to George Gankis's model of swing. Now, if it was a wedge swing, because you're typically having like a half swing or a 3/4 swing, the length of the swing is not long, you don't have a lot of time to redirect the club on the downswing. So typically a lot of people would actually end up being quite steep with the club shaft and get outside of George's parameters. But because he's hitting a full swing, it's not so big of a deal because he has plenty of time to redirect, get everything back into time so that he can hit George's parameters on the downswing. So that's what they're talking about there.
problem with it, but you shouldn't have a problem. Now that's crossed up. A lot of people would have a problem with that. But if your legs work right in transition, which yours do, what happened to the shaft? Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, so that's as good as it gets. Now,
all right, this is something I want to debunk as well. You know, George definitely has this whole idea of natural shallowing, but it's definitely been proven wrong. You know, if you get crossed at the top and your knees move the way George wants them to move, you can still steepen the club shaft. The reason why is because the wrist and the forearms are not connected to the legs, right? Because I can move my wrists in all sorts of different places and move my knees completely different as well. So because the two are not connected, just because you move the knees correctly, that does not mean the club shaft is going to shallow or flatten. You can still actually counteract that by more so of a steepening torque in the hands and wrist. Now, what he's trying to say, and I kind of agree with this as well, if you kind of move the lower body correctly and you're not necessarily torquing the club the wrong way, or maybe if you have maybe a softer grip pressure at the top, potentially the club shaft is going to want to flatten. I understand it. I think that's what he's trying to say. But just because you move the knees correctly, that does not equal out to having a good club shaft movement. You can definitely torque the club differently and get into a bad spot.
from here, your hand pass out. Everybody loves that position. You're not humping. Now this is where you're gonna get in a little bit of trouble, okay? And it's right on line with what we want it to be on. So what I look for, if you don't have a TrackMan, you can come in and realize that's parallel, it's parallel. That's not parallel anymore. It's in between parallel at this point.
All right, that's it for you guys on YouTube. But before you guys click off the video, let me give you some quick wrap-up points. So when it comes to George's theory overall, I think a lot of the points are amazing, and I think they really fit the swing issues that the player had. However, when you get into the nitty-gritty details of a lot of the body movement, I do think that there's definitely some issues in there that a lot of you guys might struggle with, and I don't necessarily agree with. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and watch this video if you can speak English first by yourself, and then rewatch this video one more time and go through the points that we talked about, and then try to see which one makes more sense to you. I honestly think that if you start to get the knees to move the way that George wants you to move, with the right side lateral bend that he wants you to move, it's going to be really difficult for you guys to actually go ahead and make the swing that you guys want to swing. If you guys are still struggling with your golf swings, that's completely okay as well. Check out our Kiwi Coach 6-month program. Hiroshi-san is just launching his lesson, so check out his sign-up page as well. Other than that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.